Aloha friends, how are ya? Welcome back to my channel for a video that's a little bit different today because I'm going to be honestly sharing with you all of the ways and all of the habits I plan to start adopting or have recently started adopting to work towards being a more successful human. I've been a little obsessed with self-improvement lately, just wanting to be the best version of myself in all sense of the term. I've been watching a lot of really successful creators and entrepreneurs and just people that share all of the habits that they do every single day to reach that point of success in their career, whether it be making a multi-six-figure income or growing a really large audience or whatever it might be. And I've decided 10 habits that I am going to start doing daily and start being intentional about. And so without further ado, here they are. The first one I want to talk about is something that I kind of rolled my eyes at for a long time, if I'm being honest, and that is making a vision board. I rolled my eyes at this for a few reasons. I initially assumed that vision boards were something that people just kind of haphazardly did of what their dream life would look like and then didn't really put any action behind it. Was like, wouldn't this be nice if my life looked like this one day? I'm just gonna sit around and wait for that to happen. I also didn't really like how cheesy vision boards seemed. If it works for you, I'm not trying to say anything bad about them, but you know, just cutting up old magazines and putting it on a poster board and hanging it on your wall, that's just not really my vibe. But I changed my mindset a couple different ways, and I realized that a vision board's not necessarily just creating your dream life and then wishfully hoping it happens without putting any action behind it, but rather it's very clearly defining your goals and choosing the things that actually matter to you so that you know what to work towards. And so I decided I was gonna try this, and I wanted to try to make this a little more Michel-ish, a little more practical, and just something that was easy and that I would actually use, because let's be honest, I'm not gonna hang a poster board on my wall. So I ended up making a vision board for my desktop wallpaper, and I did this on Canva. I'll go ahead and put a little picture of it here, but within this vision board, I included what I want my next year to look like, including the salary I really want to try to make in 2021. Then a couple other things like being able to afford cut and sew for Janse the Label, being able to travel to places like Greece and Ireland, and maybe one day having a nice little home with a home office. That would be so nice. And of course, my biggest goal and my most important goal, reaching 100,000 subscribers here on YouTube and getting my subscriber plaque. So now whenever I open up my computer to start working for the day, that is what I see, because that is the background of my computer screen, and it really has changed my motivation, and I'm excited to see what of those items come true within 2021. Next, this sounds cliche, but I'm going to explain it a little bit differently, but I've committed to waking up early, not just because waking up early is what all of the motivational Instagram pictures say, like, you know, rise and grind or early bird gets the worm, but because I've learned my brain works so much more efficiently first thing in the morning. Some people might be a night owl. If you're a night owl, then maybe you need to be intentional about blocking off those evening hours to get your work done, because that's when you are most creative and most efficient. But for me, my brain literally works 10 times quicker and clearer between the hours of like 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. And a lot of times lately, I've been sleeping until like 8:30, which has not been great because I'm losing 2.5 hours of my brain working like that. So I have committed to not clicking the snooze alarm and to trying to wake up around 6:30ish to get the maximum use out of those hours when my brain is just at optimal speed. Next, successful people always say that they know where their money is going. And so I have decided to be really, really intentional about creating money pools. I did make a video recently completely explaining how I handle my finances and some changes that I've made to handling my finances in addition to creating all these different money pools. I don't know if that one's coming out before or after this one, but if it's already out, I'll go ahead and link that down below. But I have made designated bank accounts for every area of my life so that I know the money in this bank account is going to go towards YouTube and YouTube expenses. This bank account is going to go towards Janse the Label expenses. This bank account is all just taxes. This one is all just charity, so on and so forth. And so now I'm not just looking at one lump sum of money and going, I'm just gonna figure this out as I go, but I'm being really intentional with where every dollar is allocated. Next is probably my biggest tip, and that is to always be learning. I will be honest, I was like so excited to graduate college because I hate being told what I have to learn. I'm a really good student. I graduated magna cum laude. I graduated high school with literally like a 4.2 GPA. Like, I'm a good student, but I just hate it. I don't like other people telling me what I have to do and what I have to learn. So it's been kind of freeing to be an adult and be in the real world and get to learn for self-improvement purposes and for my business and my career and for just the fun of it and the relevancy of it. And so many successful people have said my main piece of advice is never stop learning. Once you stop learning is when you stop growing. I've made it a point every single morning when I wake up and I have my coffee. As of right now, it's while I'm doing my social media engagement. I will watch usually about 30 minutes of educational material, whether that be motivational or like learning the SEO of WordPress because I just decided to launch a blog, or learning sound design for podcasting because that's something that Brooke and I are working on. Whatever it might be, just spending the first 30 minutes of my day doing that gets me so revved up. And I've been watching different creators or YouTubers that are really successful and learning from them. But my favorite way that I've been learning is through Skillshare. And I have been working with Skillshare for now well over a year. And they have been one of my longest lasting partnerships because I genuinely love them so much. And they are the sponsor for today's video, which is so fitting. So if you aren't familiar with Skillshare, if you haven't heard me talk about them a million times before, they're an online learning community and they have so many different classes, from more creative type classes to business entrepreneur type classes. For example, one that I'm really excited to start watching is called Filmmaking from Home: Turn Found Footage into a Compelling Video. And this is by Penny Lane. I've decided that I want to start getting a lot better at my editing and my storytelling here on YouTube because hopefully it'll keep people engaged and actually watching through the videos instead of watching the first couple minutes and then just clicking off. So that's what I've been watching right now and learning on Skillshare. They're always launching new classes, so there's always new information that you can be learning, and it costs less than $10 a month, which if you think about how much so many online courses cost, that is just absolutely insane, and there's no cap on how much you can be learning. So if you're wanting to improve yourself, grow towards success, build your business, this is one of the things that has helped motivate me the most and like find the skills that are most important to my business. There is an amazing opportunity that they always give me whenever I work with them, and I really highly encourage you to take advantage of it because it costs $0 to you. And that is the first 1,000 people that click on the description and the link down below will actually get access to the premium membership for 2 whole months for free. After that point, if you want to cancel it, you can, but the first 2 months completely free. And imagine what you can learn in 2 months to improve yourself, your career, whatever you're working on. So thank you, Skillshare, for sponsoring today's video. That really has been one of the main reasons and one of the main tools that I have been using to work towards success. The next thing that I'm doing is I'm just taking leaps. I have heard so many successful people say that the most important thing is just to start and then you'll figure it out along the way. And I really think that overthinking and overplanning sometimes leads to a lack of action. And the one thing that you can't get back is lost time. That's been my biggest regret in my career thus far, is I made actually a pretty good YouTube video when I was 16, edited it and everything. And then for some reason, I just didn't upload it. I honestly wish I knew why, but I had these grand plans of starting this channel 3 years before I actually did. And it's taken me 3 years to make this a full-time job. So what if I was completely self-employed at 19? Where would I be now? Like, that thought gets to me all the time, and it makes me never want to hesitate on doing anything ever again. So from here on out, if I have an idea and I think it's a good idea, I'm just gonna do it. I had an idea to start a blog last week and I launched it within 30 minutes. I bought a domain within 30 minutes and I said, I don't know how to use WordPress at all, but it's fine. I'll figure it out when I get there. Same with this podcast that Brooke and I are working on. Same with Janse the label. I just said, let's do it. And so far it's been successful, and I've had to learn a lot of hard lessons along the way, but I ended up learning them, and I still am learning hard lessons, and I'm gonna continue to do that. Like I just did with quitting my social media jobs. Just took the leap and I'm gonna figure it out, and I'm not giving myself any excuses. Next, this is new. I've decided to kind of take my mental health into check a little bit. I know that there's a real stigma around talking about mental health, and I don't like that there's a stigma around that. This is sponsored by Skillshare, but I decided to try out BetterHelp for a couple months, and I'm gonna see what I think about it and if I like it. And I actually just got matched with a counselor yesterday, and it's really cool because I would consider myself a pretty mentally healthy person, but I do really struggle with stress, like a lot. I think that could be detrimental to my long-term goals and hopes and dreams. So I ended up being matched with a counselor who, I'm a Christian Christian, and it was really cool. I didn't even know this. I could find someone that was a Christian counselor and will actually give me biblical wisdom towards my goals and what I'm working towards. And we already had our first conversation last night. She gave me some actionable steps towards being able to keep up my motivation and my productivity with everything I'm doing while taking a little bit of pressure off myself to help reduce my stress. So I'm really excited about that because I do think that that's important for longevity and for reducing the likelihood of burnout, because once you burn out, you're just gonna stop doing what you're doing. I will actually reach out to them because I know they work with a lot of people, and I'll see if I can get a link of some sort for y'all, and if so, I'll link that down below and see if I can get some sort of discount if that's something that you're interested in doing as well. I'm sure I could probably get that for y'all. Next is talking to other people in this field. I have started befriending other content creators, even though it's kind of scary to slide into someone's DMs, be like, hey, I know your channel's bigger than mine, but like, I love your videos and I look up to your work ethic. That's been scary for me, but I've actually built some really cool friendships, and it's been really, really helpful for me to learn from the people that are doing significantly better than me in the same field as me, and then also be able to have some more open and vulnerable conversations, like how much do you charge for brand deals? How much do you charge for an inclusion versus a dedicated video? I had a Zoom meeting with 3 other YouTubers that I love, and we all talked about what we charge brands, and I ended up doubling my rates after talking to those girls, and I've been making significantly more money from sponsorships because I realized I was undercharging. So just being able to have that conversation with other people in my field has been extremely helpful to growth. Successful people always say who you surround yourself with is who you're going to become more like, so I figured I'm gonna surround myself with more successful people. My next point is kind of a sub point of that, and that is taking notes from more successful people, whether that be reaching out to them or even like massive YouTubers that I look up to, massive content creators, watching their vlogs where they explain what they do in a work day. Things like that I love, and I'm going to try to adopt more of the actual specific points that they do throughout the day into my life, which is kind of what this whole video is about. 2 more points for the rest of this video. The next one is value my time hourly. This has been a really hard lesson for me to learn. I say yes to doing a lot of things like little small odd jobs here and there for other people out of kind of guilt, out of wanting to help people. But oftentimes, like say babysitting, if I get paid $15, $20 an hour to help someone babysit, and I actually sit down and assess how much money I make an hour when I'm working on my own businesses for myself, I'll realize that that $20 an hour is nowhere near worth my time. That is not valuing my time appropriately. So many people that are extremely successful say that they sub-hire out things that is cheaper to hire someone per hour than their hourly time is worth. I don't know if that makes sense, but for example, like grocery shopping. Say it takes me an hour to go to the grocery store, and here's some fake numbers. Say I make $50 an hour working for myself, but it costs me $10 delivery fee to get Instacart to deliver my groceries. I am going to pay those $10 to work another hour instead of going to the grocery store, and then I end up profiting $40 off of that decision alone. So that's something that I hear successful people talk about all the time, and something that I want to be implementing more frequently. Is this worth my time? What is my time valued at? What can I sub-hire out, and what should I say no to? And last but not least is successful people always honestly assess themselves. They have the ability to be really, I don't want to say critical, but constructive criticism towards themselves is something that they are good at. Taking a step back and honestly evaluating what is working and what is not. I think a lot of people really struggle with the honesty of being able to say, okay, Michelle, this isn't working. This is something you need to improve on without hurting their own feelings. So I really try to take an unbiased step away from everything I'm doing and saying, yeah, okay, that wasn't the best. I think it breaks down to honesty. Just being honest with yourself and knowing what needs to change is how you improve and how you grow. And so that is something that I try to consciously do, not even every day, but every hour of every day. I hope you enjoyed this type of video. It's kind of a completely different video than I normally do because I have been really into productivity and success and self-improvement and entrepreneurship lately. So if you enjoyed a video like this, let me know. I think this might not perform very well. People like unboxings more than they like success. That's me taking a step away and honestly evaluating what I'm doing right now. But nevertheless, I thought it'd be fun to try, so comment down below if you enjoyed this video, and I'd love to hear your thoughts and things that you are implementing into your life to maybe be a more successful person in every sense of the word. All right, I love y'all with my absolute whole heart. I hope you have the best rest of your day, and I'll see you in a video very soon. Bye.